watching ABC 36 on your side. Good Morning Kentucky. Today's Monday Morning Quarterback with Jeff Piecoro is presented by For the Love of the Game, located in Lexington.
It is time for Monday Morning Quarterback. Sports Director Jeff Piecoro is here to talk with us about Kentucky football and the Cincinnati Bengals. Both of them are coming off of byes. I wonder what they have planned for that there. How are you doing, Jeff, this morning?
Good, Dylan. How are you, bud?
Yeah, not doing too bad. So we had a ton of teams on bye, obviously, this week. The Bengals, the Kentucky Wildcats, even Louisville on the bye. But here you enjoyed, we were able to watch a big game there on Saturday. Ohio State playing Penn State on definitely the premier game of the weekend there.
Yeah, you know, every once in a while I get to go up there if it's an off date for Kentucky and Ohio State plays at home. My father's a letterman from Ohio State, so we've had season tickets there for about 40 years. And yeah, it was pretty cool. It's a very different atmosphere, 105,000 people, and it was a heck of a just something you have to do once in your life, go up there and see an Ohio State game. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a fun game there. Their defense really stepped up. To Kentucky for the Wildcats now, so they're on the bye week. What do you think they really worked on and prepared for here for this weekend's matchup?
You know, I think they worked, you know, obviously they were out on the field practicing, but I think mentally is where this team has to get better. The coaches are stressing that some of the upperclassmen have to step up. The coach can tell you so many times, you know, do this, do that, but it has to come from within. And I think this team has to get some discipline, and they have to grow up a little bit. And I think they worked on the mental aspect of the game a lot in this open week. And now, starting today, you're in Tennessee week. So it's totally different, and it's one of your biggest rivals.
And one thing a lot of people really circle on a bye week is injuries. How do you think Kentucky, you know, is dealing with some of those nagging injuries that they've had throughout the first half of the season?
Well, you just mentioned it. Nagging is it, because, you know, you're halfway through your season. Everybody's beat up and dinged up a little bit. So I think this bye week came perfectly for them physically and mentally. They had some guys dinged up that didn't even play. It really helped, especially on the defensive side. You had a couple guys that were leaders of that defense, and for them to be able to get 2 weeks off, I think is huge. Silver's one of the guys up front. You had, one of your linebackers. So I think that this team gets fresh again. And again, just having that week off, you get your legs back. So you'll see a more spirited team. Now, the thing is, with Mark Stoops' teams in the past, they haven't played particularly well coming off a bye. So you hope they can turn it around, because obviously it's Tennessee. And so for a lot, especially the older fans, Tennessee is still the main rival, not Louisville. And that's the way I see it, at least, as well.
And speaking of the Volunteers, Tennessee jumped out to an early lead there Saturday against Alabama, but the team fell apart late. What did you see from the Volunteers there in that game?
Well, the thing that I saw is they're not the explosive offense that they've been in the past. Hendon Hooker was just a great quarterback for them, and he had the ability to run the football. And Milton isn't that type of quarterback. So I think that aspect of the offense is not there for Tennessee. That helps Kentucky a little bit. But I thought Tennessee started fast. They had a nice game plan, but they just couldn't hold up against Alabama. And now you hope that they have a little bit of an off week too, because you know, they have not had their bye week. They're beat up and dinged up a little bit. They played a tough schedule, and you hope that they, you know, you just hope that they don't play their best game. And that Kentucky does, because, again, this is a huge rival. It's one of those teams you've got to beat. And it's going to be real interesting to see how Kentucky comes out. This game has always been a little bit closer when it's played in Lexington than what it is in Knoxville, too.
All right, thank you, Jeff. We'll have more from you next week. Unfortunately, don't have enough time to talk about the Bengals. Of course, you know, the entire AFC North wins when the Bengals have an off week, right?
You're right, but again, another team that got healthy in that bye week is the Bengals.
Yeah, that's some good news. Thank you, Jeff. More Good Morning Kentucky coming up right after this.
Today's Monday Morning Quarterback with Jeff Piecoro is presented by For the Love of the Game, located in Lexington.